This week we're going to visit with Stafford County's Economic Development Director and hear about some of the things going on up here in Stafford. Before we get started with this week's edition, I would like to recognize our sponsor, Shore United Bank. Shore United is there to help guide your financial journey. Wherever you wish to be, Shore will be by your side every step of the way. Visit their downtown branch on William Street or at Harrison Crossing. And now, on to this week's episode. Today I'm at the Stafford County Government Center, 1300 Courthouse Road in Stafford County, and I'm with Liz Barber, who's the Director of Economic Development for Stafford. Liz, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So this week we wanted just to tell you a little bit about kind of what's going on in Stafford County. It's a big topic, but Liz, you're the perfect person to tell us. So what's some of the activity that you're seeing in Stafford and that people can look forward to?
Well, it's been really busy here in Stafford. We've seen quite a few businesses go from a prospective business or a great idea and actually converting that into an existing business. In our last quarter of businesses just that we've worked with, we've seen 37 business ideas actually come to fruition here in Stafford. And of course, there's many more that we don't know of or work with specifically, but it's definitely a very busy time to be in business here in Stafford.
So we've written a lot, and people have heard a lot about all the data centers that are coming to Stafford County, and all the distribution centers, and on Centerport and up and down Route 1 and on Garrisonville. But we were talking earlier, although that's great, but your focus has been more on kind of quality of life type businesses. Is that right?
Absolutely. So it's interesting to think all of the things you see on social media or oftentimes in the media when it comes to economic development. You think of the big things, those really big data centers, distribution, or high-paying job, high wage, and those are super important to economic development. But what we've learned from the citizens as well as our elected officials is that quality of life businesses are extremely important to Stafford County and to the people that live here. And in order to make a great economic impact, if the people who live here are spending their money and staying here in Stafford, we can still have a fantastic impact. So we're really putting a lot of time and energy into restaurants, retail where there's gaps in certain things, and entertainment additions to the area. Also, even recreation facilities is something that's been really important from the constituents. So we're trying to find ways to best bring those things in here and talking with leads and trying to develop those in a different way.
Okay. Are there any particular areas of Stafford that you're seeing the most interest in from these quality of life businesses, or that you kind of push them toward?
Well, the interest in and where we push them towards sometimes are two different things, right? So we often get tons of interest in the already really busy areas like Garrisonville Road, or even here on Courthouse as this is starting to develop. But often where we are suggesting are areas where the constituents are asking for the most. So you think about the 17 corridor, or even in the George Washington district, where people have asked for those things to either be redeveloped or have more restaurants or retail in those areas. So we're suggesting those opportunities where people may not have thought of them in the past.
Okay. And so when you're talking to businesses about Stafford, sort of what are some of the attributes that you use to push the county?
Right. It's always tough because, of course, we have other regional assets that are fantastic. Our neighbors are great neighbors to have when you think of the city and other counties. But when it comes to Stafford, we're almost starting to become, in some ways, a section of Northern Virginia in certain parts of the county, and in other parts, extremely rural. So when you really look at that and what that means to different people, you can have a variety of different types of businesses that could find Stafford to be home. But of course, you have quite a bit of traffic. You've got 95 that we have a love-hate relationship when you live here. But that's a really big attribute for a business that is trying to not only have local traffic, but also pass-through traffic to work those into their demographics that allow them to open a business.
We were talking a little bit earlier about a new program that you guys just recently started to help some of your businesses. Why don't you tell people about what that is?
You probably can see my face light up when I talk about this because I get extremely excited about it. We are launching a program called the Legacy Campaign, and in this program, we'll have different ways to recognize Stafford businesses that are Stafford-based businesses. So even if you have a branch that's here in Stafford, that would count as well. It will recognize businesses in different ways for, number one, how long they've been here in Stafford. So we'll have different recognition decals as well as decals for websites or things like that, where people can say, I've been here for 5, 10, 20, 25, 50 years, to recognize those businesses that have really been here for a long time. Right? As well as recognizing women-owned, veteran-owned, and minority-owned businesses, as well as LGBTQIA businesses as well. So that will be something that I think people will really be excited to get behind, to support businesses that have like minds, as well as supporting diversity in our county in ways that we haven't, as well as saying, hey, this is a long-standing business in the community, and let's get behind them for that as well.
Great. And how can people find out more about that program? You have more information on your website about that? What's your website?
We do, but we also have a letter that should have hit everyone's mailboxes at this point. If you're registered with the Stafford County Commissioner of Revenue, you would have gotten a letter in the mail, and it's got a QR code on that. You just scan that, and you can fill out a couple of questions, and we get those decals out, as well as an email with the digital badges.
Okay, well, that sounds great.
Yep.
Well, Liz, we enjoy watching all the new activity here in Stafford, and look forward to seeing more and to tracking what's to come. So I appreciate you taking a minute out of your busy schedule to talk to us.
Appreciate it.
So, okay. All right. So that's going to do it for this week's edition. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our newsletter at fredericksburgfreepress.com, and we'll keep you up to date on business activity here in the region. See you next week. Before we sign off for the week, I would like to again recognize our sponsor, Shore United Bank.